What's up, guys? Welcome back to Can't Talk, I'm Creating, a podcast by creatives for creatives. We're here every Monday talking about being artists and the journey of that. We're here today with the one and only NBG Shay and the legend himself, Mr. Logan, Mr. CEO Untitled Exports, Mr. Does It All.
Yes. I did this episode today because I wanted to do this episode because I wanted to get an open conversation, and I really just want to preface this by saying a couple of things, because the things and the feedback that I get from this oftentimes is, well, you don't live in our world, you don't understand what it's like to be us, as far as people that are in a situation where they can't provide them for themselves or can't bring it together and figure it out. But at the end of the day, the way I look at it is, if any other person, like if all the people that are sitting here have been able to figure it out for themselves, figure out how to get reliable transportation, pursue a goal, what is the difference between us and you guys? And I think that the difference is the same reason why people are asking for opportunity in the first place instead of working hard to earn it. For the same reason why people are looking for somebody to save them instead of going through the trials and tribulations to figure out what it takes to get where they want to go. And people are constantly looking for other people to solve their situation for them instead of sitting down and figuring out the right way to do things, the right way to progress. All right, and understanding I'm not going to make it anywhere in music if I don't have a license and a car. Like, if this were any other industry, how would you expect to make it? How would you be a lawyer without a license and a car? How would you be a doctor? How can you even work at McDonald's if it's far away from a bus station without a car and a license? And I just think that so many artists that are so far from being properly set up in their personal lives are so worried about making it somewhere in music, whereas if what they want could happen tomorrow, and this is the exact same thing I said in the caption of my post, is you could get a call tomorrow saying, I need you in Atlanta, Georgia tomorrow to do a song with fucking the Migos or whatever, you know what I mean? Or Gunna or whoever else is popular, Lil Baby from Atlanta. How are you even going to get there? You're going to have to say, oh, I need you to get me a flight. I need you to get me an Uber to and from the airport. I need you to get me a hotel. I need you to feed me because I don't even have $20 to buy McDonald's. Like, I really don't understand why the focus is give me an opportunity when not 9 out of 10, because it's not that bad, when 4 out of 10 artists are not even properly set up in their real lives as functioning human beings and members of society. To expect something to happen in the music industry and the music career without having that properly set up is just so far of a delusion that I hope that if you're one of those people and you're watching this and you're thinking about trying to go to the studio tonight and you don't have a job and you don't have a car, you should go on Indeed and figure out where you're going to get a job and a car so that way you can properly move around in the music industry. If I invite you somewhere, you're going to tell me that I have to pick you up and drive you or pay for you to get there? I mean, at that point, where does it end? What else do I have to do for you? Do I have to find somebody to rap for you? Do I have to find somebody to drive for you? Like, what do you want to do? What are you willing to do to better yourself? And I think that more people need to think about that and realize that they're actually not willing to do anything to better themselves. And they're just literally like that song, living on a prayer that somebody's going to fucking take their lives over and fix them so they don't have to. And my goal is that somebody will watch this and realize that they're too far away from making it somewhere in music and goes and gets their personal life together before revisiting trying to make it in music. And that was the rant that I wanted to rant on. That was what I wanted to make this podcast to say, because it's just absurd. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I don't think people look at it, I think most of those type of people don't look at it as something they have to fund. They're looking at it as this something they're going to do one thing and they're going to blow up and but this is a business and it's something that you have to
look
fund.
At Glorilla. Glorilla was working a drive-through before she was rapping.
I mean,
like if she could do it, why can't you?
It needs to be funded from somewhere, and people are looking for. They think the label is the thing that is going to fund. It's like that's not how it doesn't work like that. This is a machine that needs to you put gas in the machine. I have an artist
that's signed to a record label right now that doesn't have a car or a license due to partially age and issues with that process. And he has such a hard time getting around that it's the biggest thing that stops him. And he's signed to a label already. He's got a label budget, but they can't do it all. The label's willing to get your plane ticket and your hotel, but they're not going to get you to the airport. They're not going to get you back from the airport. Not if you're not a multi-platinum selling artist. You got to realize where you rank. And if your streams are down here, this is where this is how people are going to treat you. Sad to say, whether it's right or wrong, most people will give you a certain type of treatment based on where you are at in your career. And that's just the way that this works. And I just really hope that more people start to look at it like that instead of looking at it like, you know, daddy record label, like they're just going to come and just pay for everything and just save everything. And just like, I just don't know where the delusion came from.
It's
I really
Egos.
Mic closer.
It's the Eagles.
You could just move the mic.
Sorry.
I don't know how you could have how can you have an ego without a car?
I do find it crazy. Yeah,
that is true, but it happens. I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that kind of stuff I do find crazy. It's like
in 2024, I'm not arguing with anybody that doesn't have a car. that's where I'm not going back and forth with anybody that doesn't at least have a vehicle. It's just we gotta. There has to be some way to outside of the music being good or bad, or outside, like there has to be a way to differentiate people. And I just can't give people my all when they don't even have a car. Like what can I do for you? Oh, I need you to go to New York tomorrow to go link with this person. How are you gonna get there? You're gonna ask your mans to pick you up so he can cancel on you that night and you can tell me you're so sorry you couldn't make it. Next time it won't happen again.
That's where a lot of people fall off though. They won't go that extra step. Like even if that's not saying like, I know some artists that even if they don't have a car, they still make a way.
That's like the bus or something. You feel me? Most people won't do that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know where it changed, where it's like, oh, I'm not taking a bus. Oh, but an Uber is $50. So you're gonna pay for an Uber instead of taking a bus that's probably like $2 to $3. Who gives a fuck? If you want to do this, you gotta do this.
I used to take the bus, the $15 bus back and forth to New York to Massachusetts. I remember one time I wanted this so bad. That an artist that is a good friend of mine, his name is Sammy Adams, he invited me on a weekend tour to go to Hartford, Connecticut, somewhere in Western Massachusetts, and somewhere else in Connecticut. It was like Hartford. It was the school, Trinity College, that he went to, and somewhere else. But point being, I went out there and I went out with Sammy for the weekend, and I had $0 to my name. I took the last money that I had and booked a bus ticket on Wanderoo, which Wanderoo is just like Uber for buses. Like it just tells you get on this bus, it's like skip lag. You can get off here. And I basically got myself from Boston to some random city in Western Massachusetts with no way to get anywhere else. If he didn't allow me to get on the truck afterwards, I would have been finding my way back to Massachusetts. He let me go to Connecticut with him. We go to Connecticut, we do the 2 shows there. He gracefully lets me stay in a hotel room. The next day we get back to his house. And everybody's dropping off the car and they're like, yo, where are you about to go? And I'm like, oh yeah, my ride's almost here. I'm in New York City. I'm not from New York City. I had no method of transportation to get from New York City to Boston, Massachusetts. And it was like 12 at night, midnight. I'm walking around New York City with not a $500 Uber and $80 bus ticket, but I had no money. I was prideful. I wasn't willing to ask. My parents probably would have gotten me. There's multiple people that if I asked, they probably would have gotten me a bus ticket. But I didn't want to wait until 8 a.m. So what did I do? This is back before when you could call a $5 Uber and then change the destination to wherever you wanted and it won't recharge the card. I got a $5 Uber, changed the shit to Massachusetts, and I to this day I have two of these phones. One of these phones is negative like $560 for an Uber to Massachusetts that I couldn't even pay for. And I went into debt $560 to get home because I wanted to go that bad. And I knew that when I was going out there, I knew that I wasn't going to have a way home. But I swear to God, I didn't care because I knew I needed to be there. I needed to be on that road because that was going to help me in some way, shape, or form. And I couldn't even tell you if it did or not. I could tell you that it was a great experience.
It was
an awesome
risk,
time.
though. A lot of people don't want to take
They're not going to do
risk,
that,
bro.
I got on to when I started doing this. I was a photographer. I got onto a van with an artist with a backpack, no underwear, no socks, no clothes, a backpack with camera equipment. Dropped out of college, quit my job at Finish Line, and moved to New Jersey all in the same day off of get in the van with us. He could have sent me home 3 days later. I would have been fucked, but I took the risk. And I never went back. And there's just that's what's missing. And that's why I have a hard time resonating with people that haven't taken true risk. Because regardless of where I might have grown up or regardless of what type of environment I might have grown up in, it doesn't change the risk that I took to get where I am. And I have trouble mingling and resonating and dealing with people that have not taken a similar level of risk for what they believe in. People that aren't willing to even to take a bus somewhere, or people that aren't willing to take a train somewhere.
In state.
It's like I don't know how, I don't know what. I moved around for years with no money. The first time that I went to LA, I booked a one-way train ticket out of Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, because I was in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania with my man Ari shooting a movie. I was taking photos on a movie set for some independent horror movie, and they paid us enough money to get out there, and we had enough money left over to where we booked a flight to LA. I tweeted Famous Dex and Lil Tracy. I said, I want to shoot a free music video for you with the guy Ari. We basically got a response from the manager and took a one-way flight to LA off of a DM. Yeah, come pull up off of a rapper saying this. So anybody that knows anything about anything knows that that's not.
I think I had the same DM with Famous Dex and WaveChange.
I'm like, yo, I'm on the plane. Fuck it. I'm out there. So we go out there. No money for hotels. The first night we were allowed to sleep at their house. The second night they hit us with the, yo, what you about to get into? You know, so we knew what that meant. Yeah. We bought one night of a hotel at like an extended stay, you know, one of those little $80 hotels. And then I slept in the car for 3 nights in Inglewood, California. And in the worst part of California, I slept in a car for 3 days because I wanted it that bad, until I could somehow muster up enough money to fly myself back to Massachusetts. And granted, I could have asked people for help, but I didn't, because that's what grew in me, and that's what made me realize I want it this bad. I'm gonna get it. And this is, at this point, just been the 10-minute rant that I wanted it to be. But that was the point of doing this. That's what we set all these cameras up for today. Was just so hopefully somebody watching this can realize that if you have not taken substantial risk, you can't expect substantial reward. Even people like Lil Skies, you know, Lil Skies spent his last to come to New York and rode around in the rain on a skateboard, knocking on different A&R's doors with his manager Stokely to get his deal. The artist today would never take the bus to New York, would never walk around in the rain, would never ride a skateboard in the rain to get from meeting place to meeting place. I can't think of one person off the top of my head that would go to that much dedication to get somewhere they needed to go. Because most people won't even leave the house if somebody isn't willing to pick them up, which is just sad. I just don't know when people started doing that, but I'm gonna just start repeating the same concepts if somebody else doesn't.
It's the same. No, I mean, yeah, like you were saying, it's an ego thing. It's a people like I don't know. Like people feel like they deserve. Like nobody, no matter what, as good as your talent and whatever, nobody you don't deserve to have anybody give you anything.
But it's I don't understand it, because that's like everything in life. Like, for instance, for sports, you know what I'm saying? To get where you want to get to, you have to put that pain in. You know what I'm saying? It's shit's just not given to you.
Yeah, people don't look at it the same way. Yeah, it's like if you were like I could study and learn all the best things about basketball, but until I go in every day in practice, I'm not like I could watch Michael Jordan every day and technically know. Oh yeah, then you should. But like, until I go every day to say, but people don't look at that with the music and with people think going to the studio.
Exactly,
it's not. It's the studio isn't that. Yeah, it's that for getting good at making the music. 100%. But making good music isn't what makes you a sustainable artist. Because being an artist is a business. That's the only. A successful artist is a business. That's what it is, and that is different than going to the studio. They're two separate things.
Definitely, yeah.
And people don't recognize that. I thought that was funny because it's basically the same DM from Famous Dex. Let's shoot today.
Yep, let's do it.
A lot of people don't have the capability yet. You get what I'm saying? Not saying they will never have it, but until they learn that you need 2 hats for this. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you don't have a team and you're doing this shit by yourself, you really got to put yourself in both places and both shoes. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn the business, but you also have to be on your craft shit.
Stop talking about how it is. It shouldn't have to be like that, or that's not fair.
It is what it is.
Yeah. The only thing as an artist, and not even as an artist, as a human being, the only thing you're entitled to are civil rights and the air you breathe. Anything else that you want, you need to work hard for, because there's nothing. You're not entitled to anything else. You're entitled to your civil rights, and you're entitled to the air that you breathe. Anything else that you want, you have to work for, at least in the normal world. On social media, people can make it look like they have things and make it look cool and drum this up and drum this up. But in the normal world, in corporate America, in adult America, the only way you get what you want is through hard work and perseverance. There's no entitlement. Unless you fucking born into money or something, you're not entitled to anything. And more people need to learn that too. I'm not entitled to anything except for the air I breathe and the things that I go out there and put my effort into. I'm entitled to say that this office is mine because I spend the amount of money that we disclosed on the previous episode every month on the episode. That's why I'm entitled to it, not because I just think that I should have a space.
But even going with that, having the space, we'll still sit here and wait for artists for. If they're running late, we've waited 3 hours.
Absolutely.
And it's not like we could easily 10 minutes late be like, but I'm entitled. Like, this is my time. You're wait like, but we want this, and regardless of whatever, having a space, I'm still gonna sit here and put in whatever it takes to get it because that's
one way or another. A sacrifice has to come. You know what I'm saying? In your life, you feel me? If you really want this shit, and I'm not talking that weird shit. I'm actually talking about you're gonna have to sacrifice some type of time in your life.
Time and money. You don't have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice your fucking mans or something.
Yeah, not saying that, bro.
And money. That's it. You sacrifice the time. You got 24 hours in a day. You're going to sacrifice X amount of them to this. You're already sacrificing X amount of them to your job, or you're sacrificing none of them to mediocrity. And at that point, I don't know what to tell you, but you got 24 hours a day. You're sacrificing some for sleep. You're sacrificing some to shower, eat, shit. All of that. You have to sacrifice time, and then you have to sacrifice money. That's the only way that because if not, somebody else that's in your same position that's willing to do that is going to, and they're going to lap you.
It's a business. It's like people have to look at it creating as being an artist as a business. Same way if we're all landscapers, I could be the best landscaper in the world, but if I don't know how to get people to find my business and book it, Logan could be a mid landscaper, but he might be on every single door, and he's got clients in the whole town. I'm like, look at this beautiful landscape I just did, but I'm not like
that guy.
That's what.
At the end of the day, like the business is what separates people. Just like in the past 3 to 4 years. Speaking just business-wise, strictly in number of clients served, number of clients distributed, number of dollars made, I have the largest music business that is not tied to an independent or not tied to a major record label in the tri-state area. The shift of WaveChange from Corey, Corey Hallam, cut it out if you want, from Corey Hallam to WaveChange is going to be the biggest director group and the biggest company in this area in 12 months, regardless of whether we're doing the biggest artists or not. We're going to be doing more videos per month and more dollars per month than anybody else, because the focus is going to be on dollars per month and people served, not getting lit people's videos. And that's why in one calendar year, if you compare the yearly sales statistics on the 1099 form, for those who even fill one of those out, the 1099 form, I'll compare mine to anybody's in this state that's not making money off a major record label or publishing. And then I'll put the WaveChange one up at this time next year to compare it to anybody else that's shooting videos, not counting things done with major record labels. And we'll put it next to each other, because there's going to be nobody that's doing the amount of customers, because people that are in his position and that are now, I guess, in my position that I'm in, are afraid to answer somebody's DM with 50 followers or 200 followers. They're too prideful to talk to somebody after they've wasted their time once or twice. They're too prideful to send a second treatment 2 months after they asked for the first one and ghosted you. And that's what happens. At this point, I'm telling you how to do it. So, I've already given you 2 gems and changed everything around. But it's a business. It's
but it really
building
is
a business.
And not
nothing
only do you
else.
get the quantity, you also get the quality. No matter if you have the 50 followers up to 100,000 followers.
Yeah, because it's the care for the thing you're doing, not just like care about this person being lit or not.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly, but yeah, that's it, man. Just
don't
be delusional. Just get
He said 18. He's out of money. He's out of money.
So I'm going to do this Zoom.
You were spot on. 18 minutes.
Drops the mic.
All right. Well.